What's up, everybody? Weston Hodkiewicz here from the Green Bay Press-Gazette, joined alongside Pete Dougherty and Packers correspondent Eric Baranczyk. Eric, thank you for being here with us today. To kind of wrap up and take a look one more time back at the 2013 season for the Green Bay Packers. Obviously ended in a loss, 23-20, Super Bowl coming around the corner now. Eric, I'm going to start with you. When you look at this Packers team, obviously a lot's been made out of that game against San Francisco and their trouble against the 49ers. But when you look at that roster right now and the way they're playing, what do you think the biggest shortcoming is that can get them, correcting that to get them back in a Super Bowl championship?
Speaking offensively, they have to be able to attack the middle of the field better. I felt that they were able to run the ball well enough to make it happen. The problem is getting those safeties out of that too deep coverage was really difficult. And that's what proved their downfall, is they're reluctant to throw deep into too deep. And so when that limits their offense and limits kind of what Rodgers does. He throws the nice deep ball. They got very little matchups where it was one-on-one, and when they have two deeps, the other thing was those two safeties were able to come up and cover up the running game a little bit and take away some of the short stuff. So first of all, they got to be able to attack the middle of the field, and if that's a tight end, they need to add a tight end, or they need to change scheme to be able to attack the middle of the field and get those safeties moving. I thought, by the way they ran the ball, that they'd be able to get the safeties moving up, but they're just stubborn in what they do. Their front six is very, very good. They need to be able to, they'd have to upgrade that offensive line because their front six was better than the Packers' front six. And the only way that I felt that they were going to be able to get those safeties because of their lack of a tight end was to be able to run the ball and attack that front six. And unfortunately, they got yards and they got it done, but they weren't able to open up big holes and big runs, 15, 20-yard runs, to get those safeties biting to open up the downfield stuff. So I think, A, number one, they need to attack the middle of the field. B, they have to upgrade on the offensive line. They got to get more dominant on their run blocking and not rely so much on that back.
All right.
Defensively, maybe we need more talent. I mean, the scheme proved that down capers can call a defense. Problem is they didn't have the horses to get it done. The dropped interception, Morgan Burnett missing the interception on the Vernon Davis touchdown pass. All those things they're just a step behind on talent.
All right, Pete, we've talked about this a lot this season with the Green Bay Packers. What can be done this offseason to correct those holes? Does it have to happen through the draft? Do they need to look at the free agency? How can they clear some of those voids that they have right now that seem to be kind of holding them back here the last few seasons?
Well, knowing the general manager, Ted Thompson, as we know him, it's going to be mostly, if not all, through the draft. If they lose, they have 4 defensive linemen who are going to be free agents. If they lose all 4 of them, which is at least a possibility, I don't see how they can fill all their holes just through the draft. They're going to have to sign at least a couple of rotation players in free agency. Thompson's never going to go for guys in the first week. He's not going to pay the big money. He thinks that's money poorly spent. You don't get good bang for your buck. But he'll have to sign somebody. And then it's going to have to come through the draft. And as Eric was saying, I mean, they basically need to get faster, more explosive on defense. They need to hit on a pick like they hit on Eddie Lacy in the second round. If they can get a defensive player of that caliber, that would go a fair amount of the way to turn the corner. They have a bunch of holes on defense, so there's a few positions, but the biggest thing is just to find another playmaker. Matthews basically is the only one that they have on that side of the ball right now. So, and they could, Eddie Lacy showed this year you can find a difference maker in the second round, probably even in the third round. So that'll be the biggest charge for Ted Thompson this offseason.
All right, we thank Pete for being here. Eric will be back with me for some more videos this week. Stay tuned to PackersNews.com, and until next time, we'll catch you later.